Hello everyone, it's Della DuLac. Today we're going to do the paper pumpkin from October 2021 called Peaceful Christmas. This is a beautiful kit. I just love this. Some of my favorite traditional Christmas colors with the greens and the reds. I really love this green. This is the shaded spruce. When you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, your very first box, you get a little acrylic block that you can use with your stamp sets that come in the kit. And for this kit, it is just beautiful. I just love this. I know I've said that before. This particular card here, the print is on both sides. I'll show you that in a minute, and we're going to cut those apart to make even more cards with this, and a little bit from the envelopes too. I don't normally cut up all my envelopes, but this is just beautiful. I just had to use this one on a card. It does show you, flip it up the right side, it does show you a couple little alternatives that you can use on the back of these, and it has the full color instructions if you want to put together the kits as they are. Really great, just like they are. But of course, I like to mix mine up and just make a few more projects with it. And also this set does coordinate with the Peaceful Christmas suite that's in the holiday book. I don't particularly have this one, but it is really pretty. It does have a stamp set and dies and everything that you can use with the stamp set that comes in this kit, and you can make even more projects. Get that out of the way. So here is the stamp set. I'll put that little white background. There we go. Now we can see the little pieces that come in this kit. I just love this little grove of trees. Really pretty. Love the little greetings. I do wish a couple of these were just a little bit bigger font, but very pretty stamp set. I think I will be using this quite a bit even after my kit is all gone. So let's get to some more of the projects or pieces first that are in here. You always get some little glue dots and dimensionals. These is a very, let's get a little bit of a shine here. This is a silver foiled Noel. Let me show you here. Okay, so right here it shows you it did have 4. So I've cut, it's kind of hard to tell in this little tiny picture. So I did cut off one of the Noels to use the negative space. These aren't going to work quite as well. I'll show you with that card in a minute, just because of how they've arranged these on this sheet. But you could cut around them. So I'm going to put that over here. You get these beautiful vellum trees. We're going to use both the negative space and the trees from those. Little silver gems to put on, some tags, just gorgeous little things. And once again, I'm going to bring out my trusty little emery board. Boy, I can't talk today. So you want to rub off those little paper nubs that come off after you punch these out, especially with this one. These little white ones show up with that dark background, so you just want to rub those right off. Okay, let's get into some of these beautiful cards. And there's the envelope. These envelopes are just gorgeous. You've got those silver trees on the front, and then you have this beautiful plaid on the inside. So I really wanted to use some more of that. And then here are those cards with the trees. So you've got the green base with a white core. I'm just going to leave those as is, but this I am going to cut apart because you've got this beautiful trees going right across to the back of your card. So we're going to cut these into a couple different pieces to use for cards. And here we go. I'm going to pull this out of the box. And you always get an ink spot. This is the shaded spruce. There's some of the twine. We're also going to use this red paper on one of the cards, the little tissue paper that comes in your boxes here. So let's move that out of the way. And here is this piece here. So for a couple of these cards, I've only cut it in 4 by 5 1/4 to put on my front, right like this one. Let's show you this one first. So this one I have cut into 2 pieces to do these 2 cards. Beautiful, just black and white on a white base. And then there was a little strip left over from the middle that I put on the inside. And this is where I said this, I wish this one was just a little bit bigger. You can always send this one to somebody that you have a lot to write about. Beautiful card, added a couple little rhinestones. Super simple, very quick, but really pretty. And this one, same thing, I just used the back side of this one for this card, added a little bit of the silver paper from Celebration. I decided to bring out some of my other stamping colors. I got some of the balmy blue to match the balmy blue cardstock that I put it on, and then used the cute little snowflake stamp on the inside. It is very light. I probably should have used a little bit darker blue on this one. And then did the same thing with my envelope. I've got that little snowflake that's in here, right here. I did the flap and then across the bottom of my envelope. So you can always match your envelopes, especially if you cut some of your envelopes that are supposed to go with these cards, then you're down a couple envelopes. And if you're making all these extra cards, you'll need more envelopes. So it's always a good idea to grab a package of white envelopes to go with your cards. So for this one here, remember I said that we cut this in a couple different sizes. So all I did is I put this in my paper cutter and I cut just a couple different widths. So you can see here, it doesn't matter exactly where they line up, but I've cut this into a couple different strips. And then I used that on the green core, or green base card with the white core, and I've torn that off the front. When you tear towards you, you're going to get that white core to show. And then all I did was glue that strip that I ripped off and put it on the inside of my card. And then I've got that portion of a strip of these beautiful trees. I pulled out some of those beautiful snowflakes from the holiday book, wrapped a little bit of twine around this before I glued that on. Super quick, beautiful cards, and then you can get even more cards out of this one sheet. Very pretty. And this one, again with the, let's find those vellum trees, beautiful trees. When you pop those out, you're going to get this negative space that I've used here. I'm not going to rip this whole thing out, but you'll see once you've ripped all or taken out those trees, you're going to end up with this negative space. Still really pretty, so I wanted to put that on a card instead. And then we've got that Noel, a couple of those beautiful little rhinestones, and then I've just double stamped my trees across the bottom. Same thing on the inside and on my envelope to match this one. You could use this one, of course, with the envelopes that come with that stamp set, or with this kit, but I wanted to use those trees for this one. And then here is that negative space from the Noel that I was talking about. So this one right here came nice and cleanly. Actually, I think it was like that. So when I cut this one apart, this one had a very nice frame. I won't be able to cut these straight across because these kind of nestle in with each other, but you could cut around them and have kind of an irregular shape if you wanted to use these negative spaces. But this one cut off very nicely in a nice block, and then I just trimmed it because it was a little bit too long. And then I used a couple of different sized rhinestones to put in the middle negative space for the O and the E. Super cute. I loved the plaid on the black. I thought that made it pop very nicely. And this little strip came from my envelope that I took apart on the inside. Very nice. And here's that envelope that I was talking about. So with this, when you cut this envelope apart, you're going to have some of that beautiful plaid on the inside. So I've taken the trees and put on this card and this plaid piece that I've flipped over and put on this one with those trees that popped out of the vellum. And then I used just a little bit of gold paper as an accent. So this one here, I've stamped the trees again on the inside on a white, put it on some real red card base. Again, matched the envelopes with those stamps. Love and love and love and love those trees. So pretty. Again, with this one, I just took that an extra little strip from the envelope, put that on the inside of this one to match with the plaid on the front. And then when you're all done with your stamp set, or with your kit, I mean, this one I had a couple little pieces from the kit as well, and there's that tissue that came inside the box. Stamp some more trees, again on the inside as well. But when you're all done with your stamp set, or with your kit, all your kit components, pull out some of your extra trees. This one is the embossing folder, the evergreen tree embossing folder. That worked really well with this, and the trees for the inside. It's kind of hard to tell in the video, but I did use Stella on the trees. They don't really show up that well, but they are very sparkly and really pretty. Very simple. I just did this in the white and added just a little bit of accent colors with the real red. Really pretty. You can pull out any of your tree stamps, I'm sure. You can probably find something really close that might go with these, or just using these trees here, which is what we're going to do on another card. So let me pull these aside here, move these out of the way. And I mentioned it's a good idea to have a package of white envelopes handy, so you can always match up with the rest of the card pieces that you're doing. You can also get a package of the note cards and envelopes. That's very quick and easy. You've got your cards and your envelopes ready to go. I've already stamped this envelope, and they are a little bit smaller, just a little bit smaller than your standard card that you would use. But I'm going to stamp a very simple card to go with this. So once you're, like I said, once you're all done with your kit components and all you have left is your stamp set and your ink, you can pull out your note cards. Let's get some green. I'm just going to grab my large ink pad, and I've got my trees all ready to go. Let's ink that up. And I'm going to tell you a little tip. So when you're stamping and you're doing a double stamp and you're stamping off, let's see if I can do this upside down. Okay, so we've got our stamp, we've got full color, we've got this, and I've got this little tree right here that went off the edge. And when you do a double stamp, you can see it right here. When you stamp off the edge, it doesn't get a full impact, full contact on the whole card. So you're going to get that funny little edge if you go ahead and double stamp, unless you're going this direction and that's going off your card. If you're going to stamp this way, you're going to catch that on your card, and you don't want that. So when that happens, when you stamp off off your card, you're going to get that funny little edge. So either pat it out on your scratch paper or just ink again and then stamp off, and then come back and then just kind of offset your trees, and then you've got that beautiful little lighter trees, so they look like they're further back in the forest. So I'm going to do that again on this other side. Gonna get a really nice clean image for the other side of these trees to go all the way across my card. And again, this side now is now going off. And now I've got that crazy little edge. I don't want to stamp that again. So I'm going to ink this up and then stamp it again. So now it's nice and even ink. and then I'm going to offset that. So I've got those lighter trees in my background. Beautiful. Love, love, love that. You could even do a third stamping. They're going to be even lighter. Let's do that. Let's stamp off. So now I've stamped one full color, one again. So I'm going to want to stamp this twice to get an even lighter image. So those are pretty close. So you've got a little bit more forest going on back here. So I'm going to ink that, stamp that off twice. Kind of offset these a little bit more. So now I've got even more trees in the background. I've got a crazy forest going on here. I want some again on the inside. I love opening those cards and having beautiful things on the inside to look at as well. I'm going to stamp this, and this time I'm going to go this direction so I didn't get that funny little edge. So I'll stamp these over here, but this time I do want to go this way, so I'm going to stamp this up, stamp off, and then I'm going to come this way because I would have gotten that weird edge. There we go. Beautiful on the inside. There's the front. Super simple card. We're just going to leave it as that for those trees. Let's close this ink pad. Inevitably will put my hand in it. And then I'm going to bring in some real red. Keep this super simple card just with some beautiful green trees. And we'll just do a red Merry Christmas on the front. And from our home to yours in red on the inside. Very quick, super quick, easy cards to do for Christmas. If you have a whole bunch of cards that you like to send out and you just want something super simple, that would be a great thing to do. You could even tie some red twine around it if you want to do that, just as a little extra embellishment. Let me close that and I'll tie that ribbon. Let's cut this. We'll just do, instead of a bow, let's just do a little knot. And a little handy tip when you're tying knots or even bows, use a little glue dot where you want that knot to be, and it'll help hold it for you as you're tying. So let's get this situated, and it's gonna, let's find that glue dot. Put that first one on there, and then I like to tie opposite directions when I'm tying a knot, and then it will go that opposite direction. Get that scissors back over here, trim that. Super cute, quick, easy little card. I didn't get those ends very even, but that's okay, I'll fix that later. And those are my beautiful cards for today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you liked the projects that I had for you. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Be sure to click that bell button so you don't miss a video. Have a wonderful day.